Hello everybody, it is Badger Wild and we are back with another Space Engineer ship review video. This time, however, we are reviewing this wonderful ship behind me here. And this is my contest entry for Captain Jacks Frigate build. You guys are getting to see it first. And then I plan on having, once I get all the mods and everything figured out what goes into this thing, I plan on putting it up on the it's already on the workshop. I plan on formally submitting it. But without further ado, let's get started because there's a lot to this thing. So, first off, jumping off this here, you can see the actual look of this. This is the R.W.I. Lupin. It is basically a wolf pack style ship designed for patrol. It's like a Defender Light, if you want to call it that. General purpose frigate, primarily designed to either operate as a littoral frigate or can operate equally as a support fire frigate. And I'll show you the support fire of this. This thing is armed. Let's go over armament real quick. Yeah, let's go over armament. Armament, we have two of these large double barrel cannons. I'm not sure what the mod is called. Let me see. I think I've got a welder here somewhere that I use. Yeah. So I believe these are the M480 Hurricane Strike Cannons, which are very nice. Fires two low velocity shells. Has some different mods that go with it, which is the Atrix mod, I believe. It's also what these miniguns are. I did this because someone in Captain Jack's Discord told me that this was a mod Jack was using now. So Jack, if you have a problem with this, you can blame whoever told me that this is what you were using. But we've got two of these cannons, or two turrets, four cannons, double barrel. I've got these set just perfectly because I read the assignment. On the front bow section here, you have 12 of these minigun-like systems, these MG50 Atlas point defense cannons. I actually do like this mod. I may actually try to use it a little bit more in my stuff. I got 6 of these set here, and you'll notice this top section here has a bit of a Daedalus look to it. I wanted to pull in a little bit more of a closer looking Stargate ship. Just kind of make it look in. There is a ship this is based on, which is called the, if I remember it, the Fenrir, which was a theoretical ship in Stargate. And so I took that concept and threw kind of a Defender spin on it. You can see the front here matches a Defender. Let me just pull a Defender out here on this. And we'll rip out just the Defender because it's got the original guns on it. It doesn't have the actual cannons. We'll pull out the original Defender here so you guys can see the design elements I added to it. So the nose section, you'll notice this is a more slimmer nose section. Like I said, this is a smaller version, just like a smaller mass production version of the Defender. You'll note that the top spine section, there's a lot of mirroring here up in this raised section here, and on the Defender you'll notice similarities there. You'll also notice a similarity in the way the helm is done, similar in design. The sides of this also, you've got a centralized nacelle, but we've got a little bit more beefier armor on each end. Now, the things that are really different is, one, this defensive shelf in the front, like I said, looks very, very much, what was it? Daedalus look, or even Prometheus look. They both, I think, had this little shelf here. Another thing that was really cool, that someone who has seen some of the pictures saw this fuselage section here, which houses the primary engine. And that's one of the things you'll notice with this ship, is I pulled a lot of these, what are they, beam blocks? I use them for greebling, but I use them in such a way to where the greebling looks more like reinforcing. So this is a cheaper version of the Defender. It's meant to be a little bit more mass producible, not go down to planets like the Defender can. It's basically something that gets up outside the planet and operates mostly in space in the way it's designed. I don't believe this thing can go into atmosphere. I think it'll die it'll fall the moment it hits atmosphere. So it's not something you want to take into atmosphere. But since these are a little bit cheaper to maintain and to manufacture, you probably bring a few more of these into a fight. I could see 2 of these and a Defender having doing a pretty good amount of firepower. The thing that's happening here, yeah, you can see the. I guess Jack is using those new guns. You can see the new guns on there. Some of the guns on here just disappear. I actually have the mod on, but the Battle Cannons mod, but the other guns are just disappearing for me. I don't know how to do that. But back to this thing here, because it's amazing, or at least in my opinion. We have the bridge. We have these defensive shields on each side, helping out. There's a unique thing about the hydrogen systems that I've introduced that fans of the channel will know what I'm talking about. We got our primary engines and a set of ion engines back here, just so this thing can super cruise and stay operational for long extended periods of time. And we go down here on the bottom, you'll see more reinforcing with the beam blocks, just to make this thing look like it's whatever it's lacking, it's been reinforced with beam blocks to give it a little bit more rigidity and sturdiness. So yeah, very much Defender style was placed into this, so it looks like it belongs in Captain Jack's fleet, and I wanted it to look like it belonged in Captain Jack's fleet. I didn't want something that was so... I wanted it to be, like Jack said, he wanted a competitor to the Defender, and what I thought was, well, what if there was like a Defender Light, like just a Defender that you could send in very cheap, that did mostly just the majority of the long distance patrolling. And when you needed a major battle, you could put these in with a Defender class, or even with bigger ships like the Daedalus class, and these things can be fire support, and they've got some cool stuff. But going back over the weapon systems, this thing has 6 destroyer missile launchers, M1 destroyer missiles from that mod, and this thing also has 4 destroyer torpedoes, which you can see here, and I'll show you the other destroyer missiles here in a minute, because that is a little something interesting. This up here is a painter camera, which I added to the very nose of this, so that it could engage targets. You can use this for the cannons, you can use it for the destroyer missiles or the torpedoes there in the back. It works very well for that, and I'll show y'all how I've got this thing all set up. It's got defensive shields mod on here, because why the heck not? But let's go inside this thing. So to get in, there are 2 ways in. There's either the landing pad, or we can go in through here. And I set this up so that Jack could mount a very small miner. This doesn't have any manufacturing capability whatsoever. It can't manufacture or refine any materials other than ice. So this entire ship is based on long-term mission profile. So it runs on the mission for a very long time. Auto door system here. So it will automatically lock its own doors, and as you're on this thing, the doors will automatically shut. We also have this nice window area from the cargo. You can see where you're looking at. You can also see a ship coming in, looking out. Only area that has a whole lot of windows besides the bridge. Now we've got a button here to depressurize. Let's go ahead and pressurize the entire room here. You can see cargo room 1 has a whole bunch of storage. If you wanted, I suppose you could probably bring a small little cargo miner, something similar to what Jack and them were weaponizing in the Colony... It's not Colony Lost, I don't think. It's Colony Wars, I believe, where they were starting to fight the drones. And they started getting these really small ships that were just a cockpit and a couple of thrusters and a container. You can move this back here and land one of them. You start loading off into these cargo containers. That's where your destroyer missiles are. You also have a locking point for your little miner. Move it up there and let it fill up on ice while you wait. One guy can turn it off. Heading on down here, we're going to keep going down the cargo hold, which is well lit, by the way. We've got more reinforcing. You're going to see these blocks a lot because there are ways I use these things to reinforce. You also see another one here kind of hiding the turbo fan in the back there, which is aerating the entire ship. Let's go ahead and open this door. And we have... Yeah, that's going to happen. Because of the... I am running one program script on here for the doors, which is a little annoying sometimes. But this is for the primary area. This is your primary locker and ready room. You can ready up. Like I said, you could set a small landing craft in that room in there, besides the Valkyrie, which can be used on the pad. But you've got plenty of storage, plenty of locker space, weapon storage right here as well. Now, I guess the first place we're going to go is in here into engineering. Now, engineering has a nice big heavy door, so Mr. Castle doesn't have to worry about being annoyed. We have the two engines in here. I still haven't fixed that. I'm going to have to fix that later. But we've got a turret control block here for the camera out front, gravity generators right there. We've got, I think I'm using this programmable block. I love this server looking programmable block. It looks amazing. And so there's at least 3 more of these, Jack, if you want to take one of these things and just use it. It's awesome. We've got our shield controller here, our generator, power generator, lots of batteries, lots of goodies. Just everything's got kind of a greenish glow back here, and then you got this orange glow. Now, I'll show you the cool part about this. We go here into a area here, which I am almost finished with. I just realized that walking in here, I need to put some kind of corridor blocks in here so these things don't blow each other up. So what this is a small hydrogen tank with blast doors. This equals almost 2 full-size hydrogen tanks, so it's not something that can be easily worn down. But what happens here is, and like I said, I've got to put this in, but I left it open so everyone could understand how this works. I've done a video on this before on how one of these things exploding only damages the 2 blocks adjacent from it, meaning this will blow, it'll take this block out, it'll probably take these 2 blocks out and this block, but it will leave the other ones alone. So it's kind of like a baffle system. You also have easy access to your primary rear thruster and your primary forward thruster. So both of them can easily access. This is mirrored on both sides. So the door that's over there. Hit this little button here and we'll hop right back in. And like I said, added some greebling, added some piping. You can see the piping going in there, and it looks like it actually goes back about 2 or 3 blocks in all directions. So it looks very good. Also, right in here, I'm going to put a projector, so it'll work. A couple small things that I'm going to fix when I get going. But let's continue on here. We've got this nice little engineering, but let's continue on. Oh, one more thing. We also got a nice locker. But continuing on, because I have got to get this, because I have got to get up here and show y'all everything that's in this ship. This is going to be a long video, so y'all just bear with me. So, secondary area, we've got a nice one of the new full vents, and we've got this area here. This is the now fully designed crew quarters. You see here we've got toilet and shower in both of these, which is very nice. We also have up to 8 beds in here, as well as 4 lockers for everyone. And continuing from there, we have the mess hall, where anyone can just walk on in. We've got a small kitchenette back there. Still haven't put the vending machines in. I remember I need to do that. We have a nice little bar here for everyone to sit at, and a couple extra tables for everyone to be on. Now we go to the next area, which is a primary maintenance hall, which, let me kick my lights on here, I've purposefully not done a whole lot with, because this is supposed to be a modular section of the ship. There are a few things that are here. We've got our programmable blocks here, or not programmable blocks, event controllers. I have these here for a specific reason. I will show you in a minute. It's a wonderful little surprise. Got a few more gyroscopes up in here, and room to add batteries, stealth drive components, whatever Jack wants to throw in here. Don't know why there's not a stupid thing there. But you can actually hop over here, go down this. There's 0 gravity in this area of the ship. So, and I seem to have knocked myself out. But this is just primarily a maintenance area. And if Jack wants to add other things, cinematic-wise down here, this can be done. It can be done fairly easily. It also gives you access to these pipes here, so you can access them and work on them. But it's just basically a maintenance area for a primary system here. I'm going to show you in a minute when we start looking at all the weapon systems and everything. So continuing back over this way. So back in this hallway here, we'll go up, and this is just a double staircase system that goes up. It's easy to maintain as long as you put some type of block on here on each side. You can go up. But here we come up to the primary CIC. And it's kind of bare on the ceiling. I just kind of thought, you know, just let Jack decorate it how he wants, if he wants to do different ships or whatnot. We have a dual screen here that can have stuff added to it. And it is basically, this is just the command center. So the design of this ship was, you know, long-term mission profile. So this ship had to be able to have its own strategies, strategize with its own dedicated special forces that could be on side the ship. We got the R.W.I logo up there. Just yeah, I have that mod on here, Jack. It looks good on this. We got 2 projectors here on either side. We also have this, which is a mission-ready room. Sort of like Star Trek's mission-ready room to an extent. You have the captain sitting here, first officer, and whoever else, and then have your tactical team, 6-man tactical team here, ready to go, running through missions on this 3-dimensional board right here, figuring out where they're going to go. And continuing from there, we go into the captain's ready room, and this captain's private quarters, which you can see are a little more lavish and luxurious. Meant to make the captain feel more important than he really is, and to cause a small mutiny. So you got a desk, your chair, personal armory, large screen TV, a couple of space pot or that may be space coke, I'm not sure. We've got a nice little kitchenette area and a little area to sit. We've also got another smaller TV in here with a bed, so the captain can just watch some TV before he goes to bed. Personal shower, personal toilet. So, you know, fun times. And this is right next to to this area, so it's like, okay, something new has happened, they just run right over and you can get straight to the captain. Very similar to Star Trek. Also, as we're here, we're going to open up this area, and this is the landing pad ready locker. You simply push a button here. Oh, I pressurized that. Okay. You push a button there, depressurize it, load up on ammo, weapons, suits, open up outside, and you have this nice landing pad. And this landing pad will support a full-size Valkyrie easily. You just run to this section here. You have more than enough room to reach the back of the Valkyrie. Hop on. We've still got our cannons on the back end there, showing support. And I guess the last place is going to be the bridge, and then I will show you some of the cool stuff this thing can do. We're going to hit the pressurization here. Pressurize this area, and we're going to go up top. Now heading up here, I'm going to go up to a slightly cramped area, open this one big barred door, and we have the bridge. Y'all didn't think I had this console pack, and I do. And we've got the Redwood Industries symbol right here. Just wonderful. We've got all this. This runs, I believe, the cannons. Yeah, this runs cannons and everything. This position here runs missiles and all that. I will show those off here in just a moment. And then we have the captain's chair, which has a small screen in front. So captain can be sitting here looking out, overview, and we have an overview of the entire ship. You can see full 160 degrees around the vessel. But let's hop in here because I'm going to show y'all off some of the features of this ship. We have a locking, non-locking pad, so when the ship is docked, it can actually dock into a deal and dock into the very back of the ship on the landing pad, so it can fill itself up with hydrogen and everything when it needs to. It's got its ion engines for long-range cruising, but this is where we get interesting, like the weapons. So I got the weapons set up to all sorts of actions. If any of y'all have seen my weapon core videos, you know what's about to happen. And let me grab the sun here real quick, and we'll pull it up because I want y'all to see There we go. I'm wanting everyone to see the front end of this ship as I begin toggling stuff. So this is the thing here. Not the main missiles. This is the thing here that will make the ship a little bit more interesting cinematically. So y'all remember the 2 event controller blocks. The event controller blocks, I've got a few options here. So what you do, I have this set predominantly to mouse control and painter. And I have this also set with a weapon cycle mode and a forced reload. Over here is number 7. And all this is a camera. Specifically for, as you're coming into range with target, a cameraman or spotter will spot a target, and then you just kind of double click the left mouse button and this activates painter mode. And so this means that the ship has now painted a target and you'll begin shooting at it. Very simple system right here. What gets interesting though is what we have in the back here. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second by hopping out. And this is the best way I know how to show this. We're just going to hit this and just go. Well, actually, first off, I'm going to set this to manual and then mouse control. With manual mode on, I can actually control these missiles and fire them independently. They actually turn into like toes when you do this. But I push this number 1 button here, which has a hinge, and our event controller blocks. Now, isn't that sexy? Yeah, I actually figured out how to put this is just a set of hinges, and it turns out the event controller block will run groups of stuff. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this. I see no one else do it, and I just experimented with it, and lo and behold, it effing worked. And I'm like, oh. That's also another reason why there's so much room down there underneath these missiles. But you now have these missile systems that can just pop up. And if I push the button, once it hits a certain angle threshold, it'll turn the missile systems completely on when they go up, and it'll turn them off when they go down, when the hinge goes down. So this thing opens up. Now to show y'all the other cool feature of this, because I have this thing set up to just unload. So we got all this set up on accurate, and let's say we got a target and we're going to fire on it. Let's just shoot the missile, shall we? Yes, this thing has salvo fire. Now I know what some of y'all that have not seen my videos and are watching this for the first time are probably thinking, wait a minute, how are you salvo firing? I didn't see a single timer block. You said you were only using one programmable block. And that's true. What's happening here is a thing with Weapon Core that I figured out how to do because no one else had a video up on it on the internet. And so I figured it out, put a video up. It's one of my more popular videos. It's how to implement a salvo fire system. I don't do it with just this. But what happens is here, you now have the ability to launch. Now, this will fire. What happens is I've got this on stagger fire mode so that if I want, I can just fire 4 missiles. I can launch a single missile with a click. I don't have to fire an entire volley of missiles at a target. This is a really good, and you'll also notice, you can fire a few from here. You will notice that wherever this target cursor's at, you can see the missiles start turning. Uh-oh. Yeah, it kind of turns it into a tow. Apparently, because I had my back to the defender, it cycled into the defender and decided it needed to fire at those. But if you watch as I turn this thing, the manual mode puts in like precision fire. So you could put this cursor while you're doing something on there and just push and fire like 2 missiles, fire off 1 missile, however many you want. Now, the cool part about number 4 is I can hit saturation. And this is a whole different missile. And then I can do a forced reload. And what that does is, number 5, forced reloads. Number 4 swaps between 2 different types of missiles for the, I believe these are the M8 destroyer missiles. And so what happens is, well, I'll just show you. You lock onto a target you want to shoot at. not the defender. And we're going to fire. And you'll note all the missiles are just taking off in random directions. And what happens is the missiles in saturation mode, the missiles will run off in all directions. They lose a bit of accuracy, but they'll just hammer a target from all directions, overwhelming the PDC defenses on this. Really cool feature. If you have not messed with some of Weapon Core systems, Weapon Core does a whole lot of really cool stuff. Like I said, long ass video. Right now, let's turn this off. I'm going to set that over to accurate, and let's just push that down and stow away our missiles. Those things are just awesome. I love that as like a feature. We've also got this set up to... I can fire one of these. I can also hit this. I have this set to a very long fire rate. And they also will, let's, okay, when that turns blue, I'm targeting friendlies. So they'll also turn off and they'll fire. They take a long time. But they have a long fire rate. And I wanted them to have a long fire rate, so you didn't have to launch multiple missiles. Also, this is running on manual mode. If you just want to set it back, you just press it to 3 painter mode. And then it's just mouse control when it fires. Turn those off and let them just load up. Second thing is I did this also with the cannons. So turn on the cannons, and I'll set this to AI mode and that. And this thing also has a stagger fire on it as well. So but what this does is it stagger fires. You can see we've got a long fire rate, just continuous fire, instead of just a whole blast of it. So when this thing opens up, you can have a pretty good cinematic scene of this thing lighting up its main cannons, just firing one right off after another. And I thought, you know, a little bit longer fire rate makes it look like it's firing in succession or whatnot. So yeah, it's got a manual mode. You can just set this thing to AI shoot, and I'll just turn it off real quick. Now the easiest way to disable this, if Jack wants to do that, because this is going to be the video submission that I put in as well, simply find the weapon, go on down here to shot delay, move that to 0, and then take this to 0 and take weapon group ID to 0, and that will disable it on, and you do this on both cannons, and that will disable all of it. So then they'll fire normally. But like I said, I have all this hooked up to make it the most cinematic ship I could think of, and to make something that could complement the Defender. It's not bigger than the Defender by any stretch of the imagination. It's about the same length, but probably mass-wise, it's a little bit lighter built and has a whole lot of ribbing and everything on it. And I use the, like I said, use the blocks to make it look like a ship that's trying to punch above its weight. Even though it is a much smaller version of the Defender, it's got a couple of tricks up its sleeve to give it a few tactical advantages and whatnot, give itself just some options in a combat situation, and has that look of a rival Defender. It's got a top cannon and a lower cannon, so it mounts about 4 good-sized cannons, where the Defender holds up about a singular triple battery gun. And like I said, got all the systems. I'm gonna show y'all off that really cool, because I got this thing figured out, and this just makes my day right here. This missile system, just how it launches off, you can just see a flyby pass. I can just see a flyby pass as this thing goes past one of the drone, past a drone dreadnought or a drone destroyer, and it just starts unloading missiles as it flies by, just launching, and the missiles just take off and head for the target. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and hope you guys found this inspiring. I hope you guys, like I said, I have really enjoyed building this and doing this little challenge build. Got it done in a week. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, I got this done in a week by the skin of my teeth, I'm telling you. It got finished on a Saturday. Anyway, Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and this will be up on the workshop. I will put a link down in the description. You guys can take this thing and play around with it. It does have a few mods. I will more than likely, when I make this public, I'll have all the mods listed that are needed, and I'll try to put links in the description to every mod you need to run this thing. And other than that, hope you guys enjoy this, and to all the competition, good luck to all of y'all. I don't think I'll win. I've done all I can to that I think can probably win the competition, but I don't think I will, because I've seen some of y'all's creations, and there's the competition is really stiff. So whoever wins, you deserved it. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, this is R.W.I, saying stay safe, stay frosty, and I am signing out.